You have to be an extrovert to be successful. That's what being taught to you when you were a child, when you just go to school, when you were in a college or in business school, or even in your company coaching classes or future. You see, extrovert or becoming an extrovert is mandatory for success. But actual fact, it's wrong. Introverts are more smarter. From Vincent van Gogh paintings to Mona Lisa, from theory of gravity to theory of relativity, from whatever you see, from Steve Wozniak Mac to the Thomas Alva Edison incandescent bulb, or from Gladwell to Shakespeare, you see introverts are ruling the world. So from Greek to Romans, and then from Bible itself, we have introverts there. But in 1900, especially in Dale Carnegie, he just get interested to some speech and he just become some of the speech gurus in 1900s. Even the Ford was making Model T and Edison was there. All that industrialization period, that becomes like an extrovert become an ideal of successful so-called character. So until then, culture of character or something like values and all this, something what we stand for, that is what all important for us. But during that 1900s, there was a shift happening from the character to the personality. We tried to just become the personalities as gods, and we just become more admirers of peoples and personalities. That's what changed. So from 1921, Carl Jung proposed this introverts psychologies and all. But there is another term in psychology called inferiority complex, actually evolved in 1900s by Alfred Adler and all. And that becomes an important, like, to be successful, you have to just overcome that inferiority complex. And we have been consuming positive psychology more than anything else during that period. Harvard Business School is known for extroverts, but actually, those who create that CEOs and all, introverts are good leaders or CEOs when the employees or the partners, the team members are proactive. But in other words, if a leader is extrovert, one benefit is that the passive people can become more active. So either is not wrong, and it's not necessary that HBS has to create an extrovert. Even God like introverts, from Moses to Jesus, from Buddha to Prophet Muhammad, all of them are introverts. From when God just come in as a fire in the bush in the Mount Sinai and told Moses, like, you are a liberator for the Jews. Moses asked, I'm not that much eloquent. Are you sure I have to do it? Same thing to Prophet Muhammad also, when Gabriel was asked him to read, he was not that much extrovert, that he was introvert. Even though Apple as a contribution of a visionary of Steve Jobs, but actually it was a brainchild of Steve Wozniak. A calculator designer in Hewlett Packard, he just spent his alone time or introvert time to create that Mac. So working alone, even Charles Babbage once invited Charles Darwin, or Babbage invited Darwin, he told that I prefer to work alone. So that working alone is actually created those exemplar or genius out of them. So some brain sciences. So when introverts and extrovert, mainly the difference is in the brain, especially the amygdala become highly reactive for introverts and less reactive for extroverts. But the point is that when they grow up, there is another new brain, which is a new frontal cortex. Actually, they work together with amygdala. It's not going to switch off the amygdala, but they work together. So when you meet a stranger first, amygdala is kicking in. But when later on, neocortex will tell you, don't worry, they are not a stranger, they are your friend. So that's the thing. So reactivity is a foundation, but personality is a building which we are creating above that reactivity. That's why introverts are not really always introverts. You can be somewhere in the middle, or they can just show up somewhere as extroverts as well. So genetics actually played an important role also. If your parents are introverts, yes, that DNA will make you introverts. But the point is that there is some level of elasticity come into play. You can always change that elasticity or something out of that. You don't have to be same as your parents, but sure, there is a limit to it. You cannot elastic too much. Little you can do that. So Bill Clinton cannot become Bill Gates. Bill Gates cannot become Bill Clinton, but they have that elasticity of improvement is possible, which is based on how we react to the stimulations and all. There is some trade-offs. For example, if you're an introvert, it has some trade-off as well, because they are telling extroverts having this cool mentality and all these things, they'll be more prone to flirting and adultery and all these things. So some point we are having some being good at something as an extrovert is on bad on something else. Same thing happening for extrovert or introvert as well. So the point is that we have to somewhere take the good from both worlds and then combine it together. Wall Street, it is known for extroverts, but those who actually failed in Wall Street, most of them are extroverts. Introverts, they have this long-term thinking. They have more. They are not reactive in sense of small stimulants and such things. They are not myopic in that sense. So, like Warren Buffett, who is Omaha of Nebraska and all. So actually, he's an extrovert. Same Charlie Munger, same most of the people in Wall Street. So Wall Street, you think it is for extroverts, but actually, success there is for introverts. The legendary CEO of General Electric, Jack Welch, famously told that release your inner introvert occasionally. Even though you are an introvert, some point in time, especially, you have to train yourself to release that introvert character and become extrovert. And actually, you can do it. Many of the people you see as extroverts, they're actually not extroverts. Some people stammer like Musk. Some people is not able to that much able to talk and all like Gates, like Zuckerberg. A lot of people, I'm not going to that names. Most of who know you know as being extroverts, mostly they're introverts trying to just cope up with the scenario to become as a showing as an extrovert. In East, especially the place where the martial arts and all these things come up, soft power or the power of water is more powerful than fire. That is the same place like Mahatma Gandhi, who just might against the mightiest empire of British India or British East Indian Company without any arms, Mahatma Gandhi. So, soft power, being an introvert, he was able to do that. Brian Little, the professor who got 3M fellowship, something like a Nobel Prize for teaching, when he teach, people become oversubscribed and standing ovations will come. He told that he was actually introvert, and when he do this teaching, he just grow up as an extrovert. So most of the time outside teaching, he was alone. He want to be alone, and he enjoy and become grow being alone. So that power of solitude. For sure, if you have married with an introvert extrovert couples, you will have some level of communication gap. The introvert spouse may be expecting something from the extrovert, and there will be a communication gap. So first of all, you have to understand neither have to change your role. You have to be somewhere grow and stay where in the middle, or change your roles to become introvert and extrovert somehow to clarify or to avoid that communication gap. If you think you are an introvert, actually no cure is needed being an introvert. Only thing is that you have to find the place where you are and just analyze what is required for the situation, and then adapt and improve and hone your skills. So there is no cure required for introversion. But only thing what is needed is to understand the capabilities and explore the giant within. If you have someone like your kids or someone you found to be introverts, don't worry. Let them work their way. Don't try to stifle or don't try to control them or don't try to change them. That's all for now. Until we come across with the next book. Bye for now. Thank you.